So now it seems we Irish have white privilege. Who knew? There's an actual need, to some degree, in any society for mock and ridicule. I know that's, okay, where am I going with that one? Well, mock and ridicule has always been a mechanism, when used correctly and in the right doses, for stopping stupid ideas from getting any traction, and from stopping stupid people from getting into positions of power and enacting stupid laws and stupid edicts. But now you can't criticise anybody because, words are now violence. It's all gotten completely and utterly upside down, back to front, and whatever you're having yourself. And you can ring the police, ring the guards on anybody who says anything you don't like, practically. We're almost there. So mock and ridicule now has been taken off the table, with the result that a lot of stupid ideas and a lot of crazy ideas and a lot of crazy people are getting into the mix. And unfortunately, you're into a societal decline there, when stupid ideas and stupid people and stupid laws and stupid rules start becoming the norm. Then you really are living in late stage Rome. And I think we are very much entering, if not in the middle of that territory now. We have men in women's changing rooms. We have biological males in women's sports and boxing rings. Essentially, biological males beating the crap out of biological females, and we're supposed to all pretend that's just how it is in the modern world, and things have never been better. Now, all of us sane people here on planet Earth, and if you watch this channel, you're obviously not only sane, you're obviously very switched on too. Well, we all know a lot of what modern society is serving us up is absolute bunk. It's complete and utter tosh. We know this, and many times we just feel powerless to do anything about it. We just have to get on with it, suck it up, and keep on bumbling along. And the latest thing that's come across my desk, and many things do in this vein, is that we Irish now supposedly have white privilege. We're now privileged white people. No longer we're just always Irish. I'm an Irish man. You could be an Irish person, or you could be part of the diaspora, possibly. Anyway, that was it. We were just Irish. We weren't privileged by any stretch. And anybody who knows anything, as I'm sure you do, about the Irish history and the history of the Irish people, the Irish tribe, will know full well that we didn't exactly lead what you might call a charmed existence. In fact, we had a pretty rough and rocky ride through the centuries. I'm talking famines, I'm talking genocides, I'm talking invasions, I'm talking starvation, I'm talking about war, I'm talking about pillage, and all of those things. And to boot, we never colonised anybody. We were certainly scattered to the four winds after various issues and various situations here on the island of Ireland. Again, famines, wars, and servitude, and persecution, religious and otherwise. The Irish did go everywhere, and in most cases, not because they wanted to, but because they were forced by circumstance to go there. And when they went there were no free lunches. There was no welfare. They worked or died, where they stood or sat or slept. That's the Irish experience, and until very, very recently, we were the poor relation of the European continent in many, many ways. It's only very, very recently that we got any kind of traction in terms of affluence and getting ahead of the game financially. And even that's not working out exactly as most of us would wish. But that's a separate issue. So the idea that we Irish somehow are a privileged group because of the colour of our skin is, to me, ludicrous, is a crazy, a stupid, a backward, an imbecilic idea. But yet, we have people in the higher echelons of Irish society and the Irish political establishment who believe this and who are actively promoting it.
True that the Irish have known a fair share of oppression. The reality is, during that oppression, we still maintained our invisibility cloak of white privilege.
Minister, as you know, many of the so-called anti-racist NGOs which your department funds promote the idea of white privilege, the idea that all white people are inherently privileged because of their skin colour. Isn't that a racist idea in and of itself? And is this a good use of taxpayer money?
I disagree. I don't think the concept of white privilege is a racist concept.
A spoiler alert, to my mind and probably to yours, if you're teaching one group of people that they are different, better or worse than another group of people purely on the basis of their skin colour, that is, to my mind, the very definition of racism. But it seems to these lunatics it's okay because we're only ragging on white people. And that's fine. So, what's the latest thing that come across my desk from Planet Stupid? Well, I have to go to my old friend and friend of the channel, Jim O'Callaghan, our Minister for Justice, the head of the Department of Justice. Jim, you do some good work and I believe your heart is in the right place. Now, you've a long way to go. A long way to go. And today's little bit doesn't help your case. Let's head over to Gript. And Ben Scallon in particular, the man, the myth, the legend, he's got a piece here saying that Jim O'Callaghan's Department of Justice has just allocated €100,000 to fund a school programme that teaches young Irish students about the concept of white privilege. Yes, our government is actively funding, with taxpayers' money, possibly your money, programmes in schools to teach native Irish young children that they are privileged because they're white. Yes, because of the colour of their skin. To my mind, the Irish government is using your money, quite possibly, to fund the teaching of despicable racist concepts to young Irish children. Jim, what's going on here now? Whoever put that on your desk, if it ever got to your desk, whoever put that on your desk, fire that person or persons immediately. Have them clear their desks, have them escorted by security to the front door of the department, and tell them in no uncertain terms to never come back here again. Ireland is not a racist country. The Irish are not and never have been a racist people. So do not start teaching racism or racist concepts to our young people, our young impressionable minds. And anybody who tries to make you do it or tries to make you fund it, sack them. So, what are the great and the good on the Twitter sphere, X, saying about this latest governmental attempt to, as they say, combat racism and promote social cohesion? How is it going down on the Twitter sphere? Well, Mary Harrington says, no such thing as white privilege. The Irish people have suffered as much, if not more, than any other so-called white national. Teach history, not propaganda. Well said, Mary. Real News Era says, this is teaching Irish children to hate themselves because of the colour of their skin. Irish people have never had any privilege at any point in history. Bravo. Well said, and you're not wrong. Celtic Hoddle opines, selling my white privilege card will consider a swap for medical card. A good trade. Well spotted. Definitely I'd take a medical card over my white privilege card any day of the week. Cuisine opines, parents have to take it on themselves to oppose this in the schools. That's the only way this crap is halted. If you let your kids feel guilty for who they are or their skin colour, you're enabling racism and bigotry. It's okay to be white. It's okay to be white Irish. Full stop. Bravo. Again, well said. And I'll finish with Dirty Gent. Not sure if that's his real name. Anyway, this just goes to prove memes are your friend. All right, lads, that white male privilege isn't going to mine itself. Yes, people in this modern age do forget, and forget very often, at least certain types of people, and unfortunately certain types of people who get into power, that our ancestors went through hell on earth, led brutal and often very short and difficult lives, so that we could have the benefits of their many sacrifices. It didn't come cheap. It didn't come easy. So for these virtue signalling idiots, lunatics, imbeciles to turn around and say, no, no, we're all privileged and we have to give all of our stuff away to other people from other parts of the globe. Well, I'm not buying it. I am not buying it for 1 second. I, for one, appreciate every day, every hour, every minute, the sacrifices and the many difficult, hurtful, painful sacrifices my ancestors endured so that we could have the things we have today. And I will not participate in this flagellation, in this postmodern indoctrination that we are somehow evil. Because of the colour of our skin, we must atone all the time, 24/7, for the evil that we are. That's not progress. That's regress. That's a society actively going backwards. And you can count me out of that plan.